Hello students, how are you? Now again we are ready to see another part of our chapter, flotation. Now today we are going to discuss some physical quantities, their density, their relative density. So first I am going to discuss what do we mean by density. Dear children, when designing a large building or a large bridge, then an architect or an engineer will need to know the masses of the iron girders he intends to use so that he may plan support of sufficient strength for them. So it is very important for architect and engineer how to select bridge girders. Then from his plans he can calculate their volumes, and if he knows the mass of the cubic meter of iron, simple multiplications, sums will give their masses. So this is a very important part for engineer and architect. Similarly, in case of a tank lorry to carry petrol, a tank you want to choose. If you want to choose a tank that carry a petrol, so what are the essential requirements? The mass of the load should not be excessive for the strength of their axles. AX and ES axles, and a knowledge of mass of a cubic meter of petrol would enable the size of the tank to carry the greatest permissible load to be calculated. This is also very important. How much load you can carry in a tank, this also we require. So these examples illustrates the usefulness of the knowledge of mass per unit volume. Mass per unit volume. We require this one. So mass per unit volume of the substance, this quantity we require very much to select the tank to carry a petrol, for the making of a bridge. For that a quantity required, that is called density, mass per unit volume. So dear children, it is evident that it will often be inconvenient to try to obtain exactly 1 meter cube of a substance in order to find its density. So what we have to do, but if the both mass and volume of any amount of substance, both mass and volume, if both we know, mass and volume are known, its density can be found by dividing it mass by its volume. So density is equal to mass divided by volume. That is here mass divided by volume. Density of a substance is defined as the mass per unit volume. Write down. So density D is equal to m by V. The unit of the density is, that is, the unit of mass is kg, the unit of volume is meter cube. So kilogram per meter cube, it is the unit of density. This is the unit of density. It is clear? Here D by mv. See that. Write down. So dear children, I can say the unit here is B barabar m by V or kilogram per meter cube. I can also write density is equal to mass by volume. Again here. See that. Then the next thing is, what is relative density? What do you mean by relative density? What do you mean by a relative density? What do you mean by relative density? In many cases, instead of dealing with the density of the substance, it is preferable to consider the number of times the substance is as dense in water. So, this is called relative density. So, it is preferable to consider the number of times the substance is as dense as water. So, I can say, children, here, relative density is the ratio of the density to that of water at 4 degrees centigrade. So, relative density of a substance is defined as the ratio of its density to that of water at 4 degrees centigrade. So relative density is equal to density of substance divided by density of water at 4 degrees centigrade. Write down. Now, what is the unit of relative density? Because it is the ratio of two similar quantities, so it has no unit. It is the ratio of the two similar quantities, density of substance to that of density of water. So we can say it has no unit. Further, dear children, I can write the formula for the relative density is density of substance divided by density of water at 4 degrees centigrade. What is the density of substance? Mass of the substance divided by volume of the substance divided by volume of substance divided by mass of the substance divided by mass of the water into volume of the water divided by volume of the water at 4 degrees centigrade. Dear children, volume of water is equal to the volume of water is equal to the volume of substance. So both are equal. Only the resultant quantities, mass of the substance divided by mass of the water at 4 degrees centigrade. This is the result. The new formula comes. What is that? relative density of a substance, it is the ratio of mass of the substance to that of a mass of a water at 4 degrees centigrade. It is also called relative density. It is also called relative density. Relative density is also sometimes called specific gravity. It is also called sometimes specific gravity. What does it mean? What is the meaning of specific gravity? So my dear children, this tells us how many times a given substance is heavier or lighter than water at 4 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड. वो वाटर से हेवियर है या वाटर से लाइटर है. That is called specific gravity. If a given substance has a more density than water, if a given substance has a more density than water, so I can say it is a called heavy substance, or it has a higher relative density, or I can say more dense substance is called higher density substance, whose relative density is high. On the other hand, if the given substance has a less density, if the given substance is a less density than its water, that is called lighter substance. That is called lighter substance. Or it has a lower relative density. It is clear? This you can write here. So we just see what is density, mass per unit volume is called a relative density. Then relative density, it is the ratio of the mass of the substance to that of the mass of the water at 4 degrees centigrade, or density of the substance to that of a density of water at 4 degrees centigrade. Both are same quantities, so it has no unit. Now, write down. Now we will see another article of this chapter. What is that? Dear children, that is pressure in fluids. Pressure in fluids. That we are going to see is called Pascal law. This we are going to see. The term pressure we have learned earlier, force per unit area. That is called pressure. Unit of pressure is Newton per meter square, that we know. So my dear children, I want to clear here first. A substance which can flow, a substance which can flow is called fluids. A substance which can flow is called fluids. All liquids and gases, all liquid and gases are called fluids. Are called fluids. Dear children, we know that a solid exert pressure on a surface due to its weight. Solids जो भी होते हैं, they will exert the pressure due to its weight. Similarly, a fluid exerts pressure on the container in which it is contained due to its weight also. So this happens in fluids. However, unlike a solid, a fluid exerts pressure in all directions. Fluid exert a pressure in all direction. Just we are going to see a small activity. Easily also you can do at your home. What is that? First write down an important line, that is, write down in your copy. A fluid contained in a vessel, a fluid contained in a vessel, exerts a pressure at all points. Exerts pressure at all points of the vessel in all direction. Of the vessel in all direction. In all direction. Write down, this is a very important line. For this I have to take a demonstration of a very simple activity. You take a rubber ball. Suppose here this is the rubber ball. Here is a rubber ball. And take an alpine. Here is a hollow rubber ball. What I am taking? I am taking a hollow rubber ball and an alpine. What I am doing with the alpine? Making a number of fine holes, say here, 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 here. We are making a number of fine holes with the help of alpine at different positions, as you can see in the figure. The ball then is filled with the water. इस समय होल बंद है बच्चों, ध्यान रखना, नहीं तो आप कहेंगे ये पानी कैसे बाहर नहीं निकल रहा है क्या. Fill this with water. The ball is filled with the water by making one slightly wider hole and pouring water on it. एक बड़ा होल या करके पानी भर दीजिए, big hole, and then pack it. Fill up the water by pouring the water and pack this again. Is a wider hole. Here is a wider hole. Now we are having here the ball is then held in our hand. अपने हाथ में ले लीजिए इस प्रकार से. पानी से भर दिया, छोटे छोटे होल्स with the help of alpines हमने कर दिए. Now the ball is held in water with a finger closing the wider hole. इसको बंद कर दिया हमने. And the ball is squeezed. Water is seen to rush out. जैसे ही आप बॉल को दबाएंगे, water is coming here in this manner, like this, from every hole, from every side. What are the observations we see? Water is seen to rush out when the ball is squeezed. As soon as you squeeze the ball, water is seen to rush out of these fine pinholes here. You can see in the form of fine streams. In the form of fine streams, like that, water is coming out. If you place your finger of the other hand on any of one of the holes, जैसे इसको बंद कर दिया तो यहां से तेजी से पानी निकलेगा, इन दो को बंद कर दिया और तेजी से पानी निकलेगा. you will feel a thrust due to liquid. As you just put the finger on any holes, you will feel a little force on your finger. We may call that is a thrust due to liquid. This demonstrates that the liquid contained in the vessel exerts a thrust at all points below its surface. So what it produces, dear children? A thrust. What we are observing here, thrust. Thrust due to liquid. Thrust due to a liquid. We are observing here. The liquid contained in the vessel, write down the liquid contained in a vessel, liquid contained in the vessel exert a thrust. Exert a thrust. Exert a thrust at all points below its free surface. Thrust at all points below its free surface. Below its free surface. This is the important result came out here. So the thrust on a unit area at a point gives the pressure due to the liquid. Thrust on a unit area is called pressure. So it is further observed that all the streams of water reach almost the same distance in the air. What we are observing here, dear children, what are the conclusion of this experiment? Write down all the streams of water, all the streams of water from all fine holes, all the streams of water reach almost the same distance. Reach almost the same distance in the air. Same distance in the air. See like this. This distance is same everywhere. Length of this is same. This shows that the increase of pressure produced on switching the ball has been transmitted to every part of the water contained in the ball, and it is responsible for pushing out the fine water jets. This is called Pascal law. This is called pressure at all points is same, so this is called Pascal law. So here we are going to write what is Pascal law. So in an enclosed fluid, in an enclosed fluid, is changed. In an enclosed fluid, if pressure is changed, if pressure is changed in any part of the fluid, pressure is changed in any part of the fluid, then this change of pressure, this change of pressure is transmitted here to all the other parts of the fluid, to all the other parts of the fluid, to all the other parts of the fluid. It is clear? So revise again. What is our Pascal law? In an enclosed fluid, if pressure is changed in any part of the fluid, then this change of pressure is transmitted to all the other part of the fluid. Is that clear? So dear children, this is called Pascal law. It seems that increase of pressure produced on squeezing the ball, it has been transmitted to every part of water contained in the ball, and that is responsible for pushing out the fine water. This observation is first observed by Pascal law, so it is called Pascal law. It's okay. Now